How do I do it all? The Brezza gives me the power.
That was supposed to be impressive by CSK, but slightly bizarre finish to that innings. They did okay in the power play and got 48. It's not been an area of strength. Middle overs has been a major problem. They got 86 there. Sam Curran with his best day with the bat in IPL history. And then just when you thought they could push beyond 200, Chahal gets a hat-trick and they lose 6 for 56. So 190 all out in 19.2 after 2 hours and 2 minutes of the first innings at the Chepauk. Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket for Timeout. Thank God Daren Ganga, Wasim Jaffer and Dustin Silgardo are there to make sense of that innings. What's that?
Have stayed for the 2
Have
hours.
stayed. No, they couldn't get their eyes off it. Okay, forget. I don't know how to start this, but let's just start with the score. 190. Would CSK take that? It's more than the 180 you thought they'd get.
Yes, I think they will take that given the season that they're having with the bat. I did mention only once over 200. And to do that after a series of losses, I think that's a significantly more positive response with the bat.
They were determined not to go past 200 because I thought they were in a place to get over 200 with the way Sam Curran was going. Does that finish keep Punjab in the game still, or do you think it's advantage CSK as well, Wasim?
I think CSK will be happy,
Right.
but Punjab will be happy as well because, it looked like you said, could have gone 210 easily. But the way they finished, they'll be happy because 200 have been chased here. So they'll fancy that.
I brought up the sort of innings breakdown of the story, but tell me in your own words where they've exceeded, where they've excelled and where they've been poor.
Yeah, so the middle overs, it's 112. I mean, if you're counting middle overs till the 16th over,
Yep.
which is by far their best this season. I think the big over I felt was that Chahal over where Sam Curran took him down. There were a few long hops in that over. And then after that, Punjab seemed very reluctant to bowl the spinners. And so then again, both Karan and Previs were going quite well. And then, of course, there was that big over,
Of
the
Shade
biggest for CSK this season.
26
run over. I think they've only had 3 20-plus overs. So that was obviously a big boost for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess Karan is the big story of the day.
Let's go. Sam Curran, 88 of 47, former Punjab boy, paid big money by them, is captained. What were you most impressed about with his innings, Daren?
Well, I think, when you look at what happened before, I felt that CSK was a little too anxious to sub him, to make changes to that team. Again, after a big auction, you expect that teams will invest heavily in overseas players, especially when you have a limited amount of those players who can play certain roles. And Sam Curran just proved that if they persisted with him, he can play that match-winning innings. We'll wait and see if it was a innings. But I felt that he showed his ability to play spin. He showed that he can bat at number 3 in this CSK side. Many teams and many franchises wouldn't look at a Sam Curran and think of him batting at number 3. So again, that's probably an awareness that they've gained with him and might augur well for the future as well. Sure. And given, the lack of production of runs we've seen from a few of their batters, that's a welcome relief for them at number 3. But brilliant innings in the circumstances.
Yeah. What about you, Wasim? What did you enjoy most about the way Curran batted?
I think it took his time. When the openers got out, he's somebody I always liked batting at number 3. Even when I was at Punjab, I insisted that because I think Sam Curran at 6, 7, 8 doesn't give you that same value because he's not known to somebody who's come in and hit big sixes. But he does surprise you. Once he plays 10, 12 balls, he can hit big sixes. We've seen today. So, how he paced his inning and how he took on bowlers when he realized, Shedge under pressure. He took on Brar, he took on Yajwinder Chahal. So, very smart batting from him. And he's used to batting at number 3, especially in this format. So, I really like that move because it gives you that balance as a seamer, as somebody who can, stabilize the innings as well.
Yeah, when you worked with Sam Curran, did it strike you about how well he sort of thinks? I've heard he's a very smart cricketer, and how does he sort of approach his own batting? He looks at himself as a top 3, top 4 batter in T20s?
I think he fancies himself as a batter. When he was captain, then obviously he used to do it, but when he was not, captains were a little bit reluctant, obviously because you got more options. But he's very smart. He can play pace well. He started playing spin well as well. So I think he gives you that balance, which is very, very important.
And what was that celebration about? Did you catch it? I don't know if his Swiggy order was delayed or something, but he was...
Do better than that. Do better than
No,
that.
but do you know who that was directed to? Because it was a bit of an angry reaction. He first goes like this, then he kind of swiped the bat downwards. Was that to the CSK dugout? Was that to the Punjab dugout? Or no idea?
Maybe he wanted to play that type of innings earlier in the season.
Matt isn't here, but is he making the T20 team regularly, the England team?
I don't think he has.
What if it was for an England call-up?
Perhaps, yeah.
Or was he trying to call you, Wasim? Everyone calls you. Vaibhav Suryavanshi calls you. RCB scouts call you. We've discussed this before. You're a man who's on a lot of people's speed dial.
Not really.
Not you.
I wish.
But CSK did drop him after just 2 games this season, which I thought was quick because I think after the auction, a lot of people thought maybe Curran could be the X-factor player, even though he's not had a great run. His last run with CSK when he was with them was good. I remember, in fact, remember 2022 when he was injured, he was actually on our show. And there were a lot of people, because CSK were having a bad season, sending in messages saying, please send Sam Curran back. Please give him a massage on his back and make him better so he can come back. Like, there was this association between Curran and CSK, and then this season 2 games.
He has also made no secrets of when he enters auctions that I'd love for CSK to pick me and that kind of thing. But I take it to Daren's point. If they were the regular CSK winning games or at least a little more secure with their team, they would have surely given Curran a long rope. It feels like he was a casualty of a team losing.
Exactly, and I think Stephen Fleming, he really said that they were a little too anxious to chop and change early on.
Yeah.
So upon reflection, that's probably a mistake on their part. But surely when you look at that middle order and you think Shivam Dube batting there and you look at the resources that they have, Curran is the guy who is supposed to complement or supplement Shivam Dube in that middle order with the bat.
Yeah.
And they haven't really allowed that to blossom this season. And it might just be a little too late.
I think it was just the identification of their correct batting order because they started Rachin and Rahul Tripathi. And Gaikwad took this call to bat 3, something which we've given an opinion on. No, Gaikwad at 3. And then once they put Rachin and Conway together, the overseas slots became full. You had 2 left-handers.
No, but they replaced him with Overton first. So after the first 2 games, I think they dropped Curran and played Overton. Maybe the idea was, in the England side, Overton is over Curran. So maybe they decided that Overton for England is ahead of Curran, so we should play him. But I think they played Overton first and then went with the Conway.
They did drop Conway for Overton, and I guess then there again it was about giving guys a promotion up.
Yeah.
So they were just confused. But one of the things you feel, I know hindsight is always convenient, they could have just always stuck with Curran. That's one thing they could have.
Especially because he's an all-rounder. They bring so much balance to the side. He can give you overs, with the new ball, in the death. And he can give you that batting, stability as well.
All right. Well, he's not going anywhere now for the next few seasons unless whoever he's called comes to pick him up. But let's talk about the Punjab Kings. Strange team in some ways to have Shedge. And I feel for Shedge, who's had to bowl 3 overs today, which is not something he's done in the season before. Omar Zai has bowled 4 overs today. Again, not something he's done before. What does that tell you about Punjab's selections today?
Yeah, very surprised. We've said in the pre-show, I'm very surprised to see Stoinis not there. I mean, Josh Inglis is somebody who bats top of the order. So with Priyansh and Prab Simran, he's not going to bat there.
Shreyas at 3.
And Shreyas at 3. So Inglis is obviously not batting at his position. So Stoinis is that guy. Nehal, you'd probably want him at 4, and then Stoinis can be at 5, 6, 7, play as a finisher's role. And on top of that, like you said, Shedge hasn't bowled even 3 overs for Mumbai when he played Mushtaq Ali. For him to bowl that over with Chahal not bowling more than 2 at that stage, he was forced to bowl 19th over.
Yeah.
I don't think if 2 left-handers were there, I don't think he was going to bowl that over as well.
But it's a situation that you have to be prepared for when you play CSK. They have so many left-handers. Even an out-of-form Dube has seen teams not use left-arm spinner, not use leg spinner, and those are the 2 options they had.
They took the spinners off before the 2 left-handers came in actually, because I think the first 3 overs of spin went for 28. So it looked like they had some control. Brar got the wicket, and there was Brevis and of course Curran. But then after that 1 over from Chahal, he bowled a couple of long hops, went for big runs. Do you think they were just a bit early, Daren, in taking the spinners off?
Yeah,
Because Chahal's not even bowled out.
One of the things I'm really happy about when I looked at that bowling effort is the fact that left-arm spinner to left-arm batter, Shreyas Iyer didn't hesitate to do that in the power play, got the wickets of Jadeja. I think oftentimes you see captains, park their left-arm spinner aside when there's a left-arm batter. So that to me was a great sort of decision by him to trust and give confidence to Bra.
Yeah.
The other thing too is we've seen a trend in this tournament where if you have batters who are taking down spinners in that middle phase, captains are very much open to parking that spinner aside and bringing that spinner later on if required. We've seen that with Sai Kishore very often in that GT side.
Yeah.
If he goes for runs in that first over, he doesn't really see the ball for the rest of the innings. But just to maybe put a little bit of rationale with that option and the bowlers that they use in this game, I feel at times during a season when you're having a good run as a captain and maybe as a think tank as well, you want to feel different combinations that you have from a bowling point of view. And sometimes as a captain, instead of picking one bowler who can provide 4 overs to you, at times you go with 2 bowlers who can maybe give you 2 or 3, or depending on the day, you kind of balance that off. So maybe it's a discovery sort of approach by Punjab Kings. From a bowling point of view, their batting is quite settled.
Right.
But we don't even know if Stoinis is fit.
Yes.
But I feel it will give them an opportunity to be more informed in future matches.
I see. Well, self-discovery comes at a cost sometimes.
Yes, correct.
Could be at the cost of 2 points. I want to come to the chase very quickly, but before that, we have to talk about the bizarre sort of collapse. Chahal's got a hat-trick, and he seemed to enjoy that. It did seem like he's having an off day and not bowling his 4 overs. Nice little... His celebration is a bit trademark. What would we call that again? Just the slide?
The relaxing Chahal. I don't know.
Relaxing. There was something to it. I forgot what it was now.
The supermodel Chahal.
Supermodel Chahal, yeah. It showed me a lot of dew because when he was sliding, I could see the dew. That's all I'm looking for. But a hat-trick is a hat-trick, and Chahal was enjoying it.
Yeah, I'm at least happy that Shreyas bowled him the 19th over.
Yeah.
He didn't make a mistake of bowling Arshdeep there and then waiting for to see to who's going to bowl that. I'm happy that Shedge wasn't bowling there because he could have bowled that 4th over as well. So things at least worked out well for Shreyas, but yeah, hat-trick is a hat-trick.
Yeah, it's the first hat-trick against CSK, I'm reliably informed, in the IPL. Of course, it'll be a great quiz question down the years. Who were the 3 batters? And then you have to forget everybody who batted and quickly skip to Anshul Kamboj, Deepak Huda and Noor Ahmed.
Yeah. And
All right.
Yeah.
Hat-trick's hat-trick, isn't it? All right, he enjoyed that. Now let's see, we can get a game out of this. I think it's fair to say, Wasim, this is the best CSK surface we've seen this inning, this IPL.
Yeah, I think so.
So runs are there for the taking for Punjab can still fancy this chase?
I think so, yeah. I think the way Sam Curran batted, that things should improve batting-wise, and Punjab should fancy the kind of batting they have. So they'll fancy this chase.
Yeah, RCB got 196, which was the highest score at this ground this season. And of course, CSK fell 50 short, but that was when CSK were really struggling earlier on.
I must say though, the first game that these 2 teams played this season, after Priyancharya scored at 100, the next 5 batters didn't cross double figures against this said Chennai Super Kings team.
What I like is I like the tone in which you're saying.
Yes, so
like you're whispering.
Don't take it for granted that this is an easy chase. The other thing is, although they have chased over or scored over 204 times, that's Punjab Kings.
Yes.
And they have kind of grown into the habit of doing so. It might be a little bit different.
I can tell you that Cricinfo's forecaster says a 67% win to
CSK.
Yes. Rarely does MS Dhoni not get bowlers in when he has over 180 to defend. All that keeping in mind, Dustin, kick us off.
All that keeping in mind, I'll say Punjab win.
Wasim Jaffer.
Yeah, I'll fancy Punjab to win this.
Daren Ganga.
I feel somehow, with that batting effort, CSK might just cross the line.
I'll make it 2-2 on the panel. I think this is CSK as well.
Yes.
It's got to be. The league's got to be interesting, Dustin. Come on. We'll have plenty to discuss.
When will you start picking against CSK? How many years?
Did you not hear me in the pre-show? I thought I was pretty clear. Anyway, I'm not for or against anyone. I'm for cricket. Thank you. Dustin Silgardo, Wasim Jaffer, Daren Ganga. CSK, got to win. We've got to win if they want to harbour any kind of hopes of making a backdoor entry in the race for the playoffs. Punjab Kings, this is an equally important game for them with how close it's getting. Pick up the chat at the end on Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Riggin for Timeout. See you then.
How do I do it all? The Brezza gives me the power.